Good evening, everyone. I will call to order a meeting of the Plan Commission of the City of West Bend. It is Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. More than 24 hours in advance of tonight's meeting, notice of the time, place, date, and subject matter of the meeting was posted in accordance to Wisconsin state statute. We recognize a quorum of our Plan Commission here with us tonight. I invite you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We're going to start tonight with a 2020 Comprehensive Plan Amendment, number 42. Oh, we need to do our minutes first. You're right, Jim. We're going to start tonight with our minutes from our November 18th, 2025 meeting. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thanks, Matt and Mike Weston. You taking track of that tonight?
Yep.
Awesome. Any comments, questions, corrections on the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, 2020 Comprehensive Plan Amendment number 42, which is holding a public hearing and requesting action for an amendment in the recommended 2020 land use plan for single-family residential to two-family residential for approximately 0.69 acres of land located plus or minus 470 feet north of High Mount Road and on the west side of Stratford Road. Jim?
Thank you. So this item and the next item actually go hand in hand. So back in October, we introduced another plan amendment on behalf of the developer. He was requesting a change from the single-family land use to two-family land use. The reason for the change was that as he's been going through with the development process of that property, the costs for public improvements are just so expensive that they actually needed some more density for the property or for that property to be developed. So what they're requesting for is to actually make the rest of that northern half of the lot the two-family based off of what we had from the previous approvals for the two-family residential. This is just a starting point for this. This will be coming back to the commission again, once we actually have a site plan submittal for that, and we also have the plan unit development overlay for this. So this request is actually to initiate the change from the single family to the two family to coordinate with the rest of his development. This is also part of a next-gen housing development that he's working with on the county. So that also provides some restrictions for pricing based off of the requirements to meet the next generation housing initiative that the county's trying to promote throughout the city. If the Plan Commission finds the land use change to be acceptable, we're asking the Plan Commission to accept the resolution that was in the packet and then also forwarding this over to the Common Council for final approval.
All right, and as Jim mentioned, the second item on our agenda is a zoning map amendment for essentially the same parcel. So there's two public hearings, and each one of these has a public hearing. What I'd like to do is I'm going to read the agenda item on the zoning, but we'll have both of the public hearings at the same time because we're talking about the same property. So the second item is zoning amendment 25-12, which is a public hearing and request for action on a zoning map amendment from RS4 Single-Family Residential District to RD2 Two-Family Residential District for 0.84 acres located plus or minus 575 feet north of High Mount Road on the west side of Stratford Road. So, the public hearing is now open. Anybody from the public wishing to address the Plan Commission on the zoning amendment or the land use change will be heard. And now's your time. The podium is open. We'll just have you say come on up. We'll have you say your name and you'll be heard.
Hi, I'm Linda Smeaton. I am located at 2116 Stratford Road. So I'm going to be the the neighbor closest to the development to the north there. Well, my first question was why another change to the zoning? But I'm understanding that the cost became too,
Correct. So with the cost, they have to do public improvements, so there is no municipal water down Stratford.
correct,
So that's, that's really one of the bigger costs that they have. They also have storm sewer that's kind of running, I guess you could say, cross-country through the property on the southern end. That also has to be relocated. So all these municipal costs that they have to do is actually driving the price that much higher compared to a typical land division or a land development
okay.
project.
And would they not have known that ahead of time before coming to us to have it zoned to be from industrial to single family?
Yeah, they were working on those costs all the way through this process. That's how much the cost price differences have been through the course of them doing the development.
Okay, so has the land already been purchased by the developer, or is it contingent upon?
Part of it, I believe I don't know when they're closing, but they do have a contingent offer to purchase on it. That part I don't know on their half.
Okay. So what I'm understanding is that when we were here in October, there were gonna be 7, I'm gonna use the word households, meaning families or households that were gonna be in that space. And I was very much for, and continue to be, having housing in West Bend that is affordable for those on the lower economic level. But now, if I'm understanding the plan, instead of having 7 households, there would now be like 14 households of people if we're having 7 two-family buildings or structures in that space.
Yeah, I believe there's a total of, and Evan, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's a total of 12 units or 6 buildings? Or 6 buildings, 12 units, because they're duplexes, or 2 families. So
Okay,
it'd be total of 12 units.
okay, so 12 units, so,
So you're going from 7 to 12, adding 5 more families in this?
No, so it was, the original plan had 4 single families on the north end.
Right.
And then the south end had, I believe,
2 multi, wasn't it?
I thought it was
I think
3.
3, so 6
three
units.
Two-family.
So it was 9 units total for that previous one. So it went up 2 or 3 units.
Okay, so if there are now gonna be 12 units,
6 units, 12 families.
right, so 6 buildings,
Six
12
buildings, correct,
units.
yes.
So there's gonna be 12 units worth of people within that household. So what are what's the planning for, or the thoughts behind the parking all along Stratford? When both sides on the park commission and their, the softball and baseball games that are going on there from, April to October, take up all sides of the street, both sides of the street, all the way to our,
All the
our
way to
house,
Jackson.
to in front of our house, all the way to Jackson.
So as part of the site plan approval and part of the zoning, they will have on-site parking. They will have garages, they will have driveways that they could park in.
Okay,
So
so,
they are required to meet minimum parking requirements. I believe it's 2 parking stalls per unit.
okay, and that will be on the land, not on street parking.
Correct. Yeah,
So I'm gonna
they're
presume
required
that,
to have their own parking, and then the street parking is public parking.
okay, so then, I'm kind of making the assumption that there is currently one unused driveway. There is a driveway spot there that goes into what used to be industrial land? Is the thought that that'll still be, only have one egress or drive?
Yeah, well, that's what the site plan's gonna be for their next step. Once they get past this part, we'll have you'll get another set of zoning amendments. One is and that zoning amendment is actually for, we call it a planned unit development overlay.
Okay,
So that gives them the design flexibility for that. So the one parcel, they can put the 6 buildings on there, and it's gonna address the parking, it's gonna address driveway locations and stuff like that.
okay. Also, as a two-family residential unit or buildings, what's the square footage gonna be on the, I'm trying to,
That part I don't
I'm
know
trying
yet.
to envision how
Yep.
there are gonna be 6 buildings
Yep.
there.
We don't have that information yet. That's gonna be on the next step that would
Okay,
occur.
so the city doesn't have
We do have,
requirements?
we do have minimum requirements that they're
Okay.
gonna have to meet for square footage for each unit.
Okay,
They can be bigger, but they have to at least meet a minimum, and
okay, do you know what,
I don't recall that off the top of my head.
okay. Alrighty. Then, probably the other thought I had was, these 12 units, in terms of the length of them, you know, all these buildings that are gonna be on Stratford are gonna take up, you're gonna try to have 12 buildings in what? On the
Six
north,
buildings.
or 6 buildings, but they're gonna be bigger buildings, cause you have to have
Depending how they
minimum.
make them, they could either have them side by side or they could stack them. I don't know how
Okay.
their final design is.
Okay,
And that's, again, that's gonna be at the next step when we
Next
do the plan unit
Okay.
development.
okay, so I was thinking they were gonna be side by side, but I'm trying to figure out how, I'm just trying to figure out how, on Northwestern, there's about 6 lots that take up what this new industrial planning is gonna be, and it kinda seems like, to me, there's gonna be very dense buildings in a place that, for this neighborhood, usually has a house with yards and and there's no trees on the land, so I
Well,
just.
and that'll be, again, that's gonna be part of the plan unit development. They're required as part of their plan set is to give us a grading plan, a site plan layout, landscape plans, you know, parking and pavement plans to go with
Okay.
that. So that's all part of that next step that's gonna be,
Okay,
that would follow this if everything gets approved tonight.
So if you approve the zoning change now, and they come give you a plan that you don't like, or, you know, gets voted down, do you change it back to single family? Or
It would,
it seems like you're putting.
yeah, it would remain the two-family, because that's what, and someone could request single-family again if they wanted to, but more than likely it would still be the two-family, but again, that goes through our development process with the plan unit development overlay, the PUD. I did talk to the developer, earlier this week, and I believe I might have shared the plans with you originally from back in October when we had
Oh,
the
yeah,
single
I called you
families.
on the phone. Yeah.
He said, because that was one of my concerns, was the separation between the two-family and the single-family, you guys.
Right.
And he said, actually, that probably isn't, it's not gonna get any closer. They had everything pretty well set, and they're trying to keep that tree line that you guys have on that north end. They were trying to preserve that,
correct, okay.
and that,
And within the development, are these 2-family or resident, structures, is the idea that they're gonna be, homes that are owned by people, or are these gonna be something that are gonna be rental units?
no, as part of the Next Gen Housing Initiative, they have to be owner occupied.
Okay, good, that was the other concern.
Yep.
Okay,
You're at 2116 or 2124?
2116.
216, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
or just to the north. And it just seems like the density is just going crazy here, because if you look at the lots that on Northwestern, there's only 6 families in the same distance of lots. And now you wanna put 12 on the other side.
It actually does, the 12 units actually does meet the density requirements for the RD2. So it's not that they're putting more units in there that the land allows. So that density under the RD2 is still being met.
but it is changing from, for single-family homes and the land that was around it, to being this
Correct,
amendment
yes.
before us tonight.
Yes.
Not crazy about it. Just, yeah. Okay, and I am for the next gen. I mean, I have been reading up on that, and I do like the program and what's offering, and having first-time homeowners have an opportunity to be a homeowner. So, all right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak to the Plan Commission? Yeah, come on up.
Evan Nicodem, Parish Survey and Engineering in West Bend here. The only thing I wanted to respond to was the parking, and I know it's a public hearing aspect, so I just at least want to respond at this point to say that each unit is supposed to, is designed and desired to have a two-car garage, and then spaces for 2 cars in front of the garage, and that will be behind the building, so it's not gonna be facing Stratford. As far as the exact configuration of the buildings and the exact layout of the buildings, that's still kind of in flux a little bit. The 3 buildings on the south end are pretty well set. The 3 buildings on the north end, they're still working on the configuration of that. But like I said, it is a desire that every single unit, all 12 units will have a 2-car garage and then 2 cars for parking behind there, just so that at least the parking, I know I can address that right now. So that's all I had.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Move to close the hearing.
Thank you, Paul. Is there a
Second.
second? Second by Matt. There's a motion and second to close the public hearing. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, there's a request for action on this, and we'll start with the 2020 comprehensive plan, land use plan change from single-family residential to two-family residential. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve?
Thank you, Matt. Second. Thank you, Jeff. Any discussion?
Well, go ahead.
Oh, I just wondered, have they indicated that if this does not change, they're not gonna build anything there? Has that been said, that this is the only way?
That discussion has not occurred yet. So I can't say yes or no to that.
Okay.
So mine is just a clarification to make sure I'm understanding, because there are a lot of numbers of units and buildings and things put forth. What we're moving forward with right now, based on your current understanding what their plans would be, is there are 3 buildings on the southern half, correct? For a total of 6 units.
Yes.
And then they're coming back to us essentially saying they want to add 3 buildings for a total of 6 units on the top part.
Correct.
Or the northern end.
Yep.
Pardon me, for a total of 6 buildings and 12 units.
Correct.
On that entire property from north
Yes.
to south, of which we're only dealing with half of it as a part of this evening.
Yeah, that
Okay.
north, the plan commission has already set and the council has already set the permanent zoning for that southern
Right.
half.
So basically what will happen is from a building and unit standpoint, the southern half will match the northern half. Or the northern half would now match the southern half.
Yeah, essentially, it would just
Okay.
continue the
Yep.
development pattern, yes. And in fact, I believe it might only be an increase of 2 units on this one, because I believe we had 4 single families on the north end. Because I believe
Correct.
that's how many lots were left.
Yeah.
And then we had the 6 units on the.
Yeah.
So really, the overall density goes up 2 more units.
Yep, okay, thank you. And actually, it turns into being less buildings on the northern end than we previously had, because there were gonna be 4 single-family.
Correct.
We're
Less
now
buildings,
moving
but.
to 3
Right. 3 duplexes. or-
duplexes, okay.
So the footprint will be bigger or the same?
Probably be a little bit bigger, my guess would be. But again, it all depends on how their building design is.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 1 nay. Our next item is the zoning on the property.
Oh, sorry. The nay was.
Paul.
Okay.
The zoning, again, is from RS4 Single-Family Residential to RD2 Two-Family Residential. Is there a motion?
I'll motion to approve.
Thank you, Matt. I'll second the motion. Any comments, questions, discussion?
I'll just add the comment that I think it's important, not only for you in attendance this evening to understand it, that this is kind of like the first step in this next iteration of this process. And, you know, it would behoove the developer to come back with plans that are taking into account the space that's available, that A, meets our current standards, but also, I think, meets the intent of what they were originally trying to build on this land, as we work through this process. You know, as I'm looking at the map now, I'm looking at the number of units that roughly there's a duplex and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 single-family houses north to south, almost aligned to that same space. So if they're, you know, two-story or side-by-side, I can see how it's going to fit in without it being much of an issue, I suspect. But I think it again, you know, when the developer comes back and we have the opportunity to review the plans at the plan overlay standpoint, to see what that looks like, obviously taking into account the concerns that we've heard tonight, I think that is, you know, how I will personally be viewing that next step in this process in terms of what this ends up looking like, aligned to what we're now looking at from a comprehensive plan and zoning standpoint.
Any other discussion?
I guess just to explain my nay, I get that, you know, it conforms to the RD2 recommendation and so forth, but I look at the neighboring green spaces, the size of the lots, and yes, this technically may fit there in the geographic space, but I don't know that it fits aesthetically with the rest of the surroundings. The double lots, the lot and a halves that most of the neighbors have, you know, if we're looking at duplex development, there's a 20-acre parcel up Salisbury a little bit that is open for development. I can't see packing in this level of density with the immediate neighbors that are around there. I get that we've got a duplex on the bottom end. I was in favor of the rezoning for the southern portion of this, but, and I agree with the comment about, you know, the cart before the horse. It'd be nice to see what the plat layout looks like, because once we, you know, let this genie out of the bottle, it is a little hard to come back and say, you know, we want to turn this back to single family. I just don't think this density fits with the rest of the environment around it, and that's why I'm going to be a no.
Thank you, Paul. Any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Nay? That's 6-1. Thank you. Motion carries. All right, our next one is a public hearing and request for action for a zoning map amendment change for the adoption of the official firm maps effective February 20th, 2026 for the city of West Bend. Jim, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I'm sure we all want to know what firm actually stands for.
That's the FEMA information. It's the flood regulations from the federal government for
Floodplain.
For floodplain and for floodway. So the first item is actually the text amendment. In the packet, you had our proposal that we have. So essentially what we're asking for is approval of the text amendment, which actually is going to adopt the actual wording for the floodplain restrictions within the city. This is standard wording that is used throughout the entire state of Wisconsin. We did minor modifications to it to address the flood districts along with the wetland districts that are associated together. But for the most part, this is all standard wording that the federal government has been mandating with the state, and we're following suit with that. So this is the actual text amendment for that we're asking for adoption for. And then the next item is the actual mapping that we have for that's going to affect the areas within the Milwaukee River and other contributing streams.
Thank you, Jim. I read the wrong item there, so I'll read it again, and I'll motion to approve the zoning text change for the adoption of the official firm maps effective February 20th, 2026 for the city of West Bend. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Matt. Any questions
I have a
Again, this
question.
is, go ahead.
Who notifies the homeowners? Is it FEMA or Wisconsin, or do we? Because I imagine they're gonna have to have flood insurance now.
The changes that we had, it shouldn't really affect any of the neighboring, houses that we have, that if they already had it, they're probably still in it. But the changes, again, were very minor that we had throughout the area. And typically, it's based off of zoning and then, when they apply for a home loan.
Any other questions? Seeing none? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oh, gosh, darn. We didn't even hold the public hearing yet. All right. The public hearing is now open for the zoning text change for the adoption of the official firm maps effective February 20th, 2026. Public hearing is open.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Thank you, Matt. I will second that. Motion and a second to close the public hearing. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. My motion is, I'll make the motion again, but I move to approve the zoning text change for the adoption of the official firm maps. And is there a second? Second. Thank you, Jeff. Any questions? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, the public hearing is now open for the zoning map amendment change for the adoption of the official firm maps effective February 20th, 2026 for the city of West Bend. Public hearing is open. I will motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Thank you, Matt. Motion and a second to close the public hearing. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the change?
So moved.
Thank you, Matt. Second by Paul. Any comments, questions, discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries. All right. Couple of extraterritorial certified survey maps tonight. The first one is a request of approval for a two-lot extraterritorial certified survey map located at 7184 and 7206 Pleasant Drive by Jennifer and Michael Thurman.
Thank you. So this certified survey map is within our review jurisdiction. It's up by Wallace Lake. It's within this Wallace Lake Sanitary District. It's also identified as single-family in our land use plan. The purpose of the CSM is to take it in and reconfigure the property lines between the two property owners. Both have direct access to Pleasant Drive, and staff would recommend approval as presented.
Thank you. Is there a motion? Thank you, John.
Second.
Thank you, was that you, Scott?
Yep.
Thank you, Scott. Any questions, comments, discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Last one is a request approval for a three-lot extraterritorial certified survey map located approximately 1/3 of a mile east of Highway 144 on the south side of East Newark Drive by Chad and Marcia Temez.
Again, this is they're looking at just redividing and reconfiguring the property lines of all the existing lands out there. This one also is in the Wallace Lake Sanitary District and is identified as single-family in our land use plan. Lots 1 and 2 have direct access to Newark Drive, and Lot 3 and the vacant lots south of that has access via a private easement through the outlot number 1. The CSM also identifies a 7-foot wide road reservation for Newark, which is consistent with our city's official map. Staff would recommend approval as presented for this one also.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mike. Second by John. Any questions, comments, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We're at the end of our agenda tonight and our last meeting of the year. So thank you all for a good year of Plan Commission work, and thank you for being here tonight. Have a good evening.